Reports show not so not all alien species are malevolent. While there is no such thing as completely neutral extraterrestrial, some are more involved in shaping our world than the others. Here are 5 alien species that you can call friendly towards mankind. Later we'll go to the 6 hostile ones. This one I have seen. I'm not sure where it comes from. It's not Arcturian, of course, but it was one of the first beings to habitate planet Earth. If I don't make a mistake, it could be from the constellation of Virgo. I'm not sure. It's called the Kalina race. I have seen them between 2005 to 2016, and they're okay. They are nice. They're very nice, very sweet race species. Perhaps they are a hybrid of some sort. Of course, they don't have this kind of skin. Their skin is pale like that. The Arcturian, the first one. The Arcturian are one of the oldest alien species in our galaxy. Eons of existence allowed them to reach an ascended state, leading many to classify them as a fifth-dimensional civilization. The same future could await humans in the very distant future. Let's say wait for more 1,000 years. Millions of years ago, the Arcturians were about as technologically advanced as we are now. This means they conquered all challenges they faced. Their home planet orbits the largest star in the Bootes constellation and is located around 200 light-years away from Earth. While astronomical for us, this distance poses no difficulty for the Arcturians, for they possess the most advanced technology in the Milky Way galaxy. Despite their daily interventions in our lives, few people have directly interacted with these species. Only through their description do we even know how they look. Well, some say that although this race is very technologically advanced, smart, expert, masters in technology and knowledge, this race also is responsible for evaluation and responsible for control of the reincarnation grid of this species here on the surface of the earth with our bodies. Understand? They say that this race is the one who on the fourth dimension, and they control the fourth dimension, and they are in charge of the reincarnation grid. So they travel between 4 and 5 dimensions because they are multi-dimensional. I don't know their frequency because there's a frequency level from 0. We were in 0 frequency up to 2012 or this year. We're gonna upgrade, you see, to level 1 of frequency and knowledge. And this race is far more advanced. I'm not sure what level of frequency are they, because the highest they are, the more rank and the most respect they got in the galaxies. See, so I'm not sure whether they are in level 3 or 5 or 6 or 9. Some are level 9, some are level 6 in frequency. So despite their daily intervention, so according to the context sees, the Arcturians are 3 to 5 feet tall, with large heads and big black almond-shaped eyes. Their skin is greenish in color, and they only have 3 fingers on each hand. They are masters of telepathic communication and can move objects or interact with matters using their minds. Of course, after living for so long year, after acquire a lot of knowledge through traveling and all that, who wouldn't not have all these abilities? I don't think it's a great thing to be proud of. Just normal that they do have all this. And they say also that their fleets are one of the biggest in the galaxies, and they are very technologically powerful. Students have surpassed the constraints of illness, and old age and death has been visually eliminated from their society a long time ago. Yeah, so what? How about us? Their fleet of starships crisscross the universe. In one of them, the starship Athena, they say they have the biggest mothership, said to orbit the Earth in case something might threaten our existence. Being both ancient and wise, the Arcturians take their role as protectors quite seriously, and you can thank them for not having been invaded already. Some say also is the Pleiadians. So, which is what? The Andromedas doesn't want to interfere, or they are neutral, and they ask all the others not to interfere in our affairs. The Andromedas. Andromedas is a kind like gray like this, but they are shorter, with big larger eyes, or larger head, larger skull, and larger eyes, crisscrossy eyes like a cat, and kind of brownish skin. I ever saw them. And there's another group of Andromedans who are sectoid. There is many of them actually. They are master of telepathic communication, can move objects to interact with matter with their mind. Their fleet of starships crisscross the universe. One of them, the starship antenna, is said to orbit. So, one of the probes is the infamous Black Knight satellite, said to have been orbiting our planet for the past 13,000 years. Could it be to spy on us or to spy on other aliens? Yeah, could it be to spy on other aliens who want to invade us? Who knows? Second, the Talusians, described as a tall, blonde humanoids. The Talusians are believed to be the remnants of previous human civilizations here on Earth, but they came after the pale skin. They are not pale skin, they are tanned. I think I saw one woman from this. Either they were, I mean, she was either Pleiadians or this race. She came to me and she was tanned like this. She wears space suit, and she comes inside the house. She talked to me for a while, and she walked like some kind of trance. And I went after her. When she make a move towards the exit door, I went after her, and I kind of see that she never looked at me, never. and she glided. She didn't walk, she glided. Some say the first allusions were the survivors of the cataclysm that sunk Atlantis and Lemuria. Others believe their origins are much older. Circumstantial evidence suggests they are our closest genetic relatives. Yeah, could be. And there's a lot in South America as well. They were the first in the Americas and Europe. Until I think they have been banned, they were being banished to the, how they call it, Agatha, to and they what I want to say, so that they are close genetic relatives. They were there in Atlantis time, and when the reptilian take over the Dracos, they throw those species underneath. They were banished from Earth. I believe was that they were the giants. The first to describe the delusion was Admiral Richard Bard, and I think that also they have kind of I would say a trauma. You see a trauma if nuclear disaster, because they too have been nuked. Our interests highly began just after Yoris exploded the first atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan. It was at that alarming time we sent flying machines to your surface world to investigate what Yoris had done. You see, we have never interfered before in your race's wars and barbarity. But now we must, for you have learned to tamper with a certain power that is not for man, namely that of atomic energy. It's not for the amateur to poke their nose and try to play God. Our emissaries have already delivered messages to the powers of your world. This case happened when a general, I guess, he was flying. Then he was flying in an aeroplane, and then they were sucked underneath the earth, and those races took him to this place underneath the earth, underground, and they give him a message about wars and to be careful. And yet they do not heed. Now you have been chosen to be witnessing here that our world does exist. You see, our culture in science is many thousands of years beyond our race, Emerald. Their name derives from the ancient Greek word telos, meaning end or purpose, a fitting name for the largest city of Delos, a giant citadel located on Mount Shasta, California. Although few people claim to have physically been there, many say they were able to communicate telepathically with the inhabitants of this fabled place. One of them is prominent UFO researcher William Hamilton, a man directly favored by delusions. He was lucky enough to meet some of them, and we are lucky enough to have heard about it. The delusion have the Atlantis as well. There's another name, the Atlantis. Bonnie, her mother Ranamu, her father Ramu, her sister Judy, her cousins Lori and Mattox live and move in our society, returning frequently to Talos Forest and recuperation. Bonnie relates that they have people use boring machines to bore tunnels in the earth. I wonder if this ever cause an earthquake or some um, seismic shock. I heard also that there's some monster that can bore the earth. It lives underground as well. Some alien monster. This boring machines hit the rock to incandescency and then vitrified this elimination the need for beams and supports. A tube transit tunnel is used to connect the cities that exist in various subterranean regions in our hemisphere. The tube trains are propelled by electromagnetic impulses up to speeds of 2,500 mph. One tube connects one of the cities in the Mato Grosso jungle of Brazil. They grow food hydroponically under full spectrum lighting with the gardens attended by automatons. The food and resources of tailors are distributed and planned to the million and a half population that thrives on a no-money economy. That's the case of that alien that went to Central America to teach the Incas, no, not the Incas, the Mayas or the Aztecas. His name is Veracocha, something like that, and he was killed by those people. They killed him. He too was a Tellusian or Atlantean intraterran. They are not extraterrestrial. They are intraterrans. They are one of the first indigenous people to Earth. And Veracocha was murdered by Aztecas and Mayas. And all that the Arab world invaded under the command of the Iberic militia took over Mexico. I guess that too was a punishment for what they have done to the indigenous of that continent, because the Mayans and the Incas come from Asia, from Sumeria, and not from Atlantis. And they killed Veracocha, one of the people who were there at the time of Atlantis. Through psychotronic technology and highly developed cerebral abilities, the incredibly advanced society has been in constant contact with a number of extraterrestrial civilizations like the Pleiadians or Arcturians. Thousands of years of scientific advancement have enabled them to circumvent diseases and aging. The Tellusians are known for their longevity and could well help us with our own. They are also true protectors of Earth's environment and keepers of knowledge about our planet's past. 3. The Liens. We should have probably started with the Liens because world around the extraterrestrial neighborhoods, they are our oldest ancestors. It's that they are our oldest ancestors. I mean, they are our old ancestors in the galaxies to some extraterrestrial. The others, the Atlanteans, are one of the first race to come to Earth. Those who are intra-terrans, who live underground. However, those ones are extraterrestrial because they live in Lyra. That's right. All evidence points toward the civilization being the first human civilization to rise in the Milky Way. And why always have to be blondes? One of the first to speak about the Lions was none other than world-famous contactee Billy Mayer. They revealed to him the origins and life story, which he graciously shared with the rest of the world. They have described their ancient ancestry, and consequently ours, as originating in a far sun system in a star group near what we now know as the Ring Nebula of Lyra, for which we have called them Liens in the same manner as we refer to the human beings from what we call the Pleiades. These early Lions and their numerous migrations and their great space arcs went to many other star systems and found suitable habitations and put down colonies, such of which flourished and eventually launched their own space travelers. But I heard that Lyra nowadays are all hybrids, and because Dracos and Saurians, reptilian invaded all their systems and took over many of them, so they kind of already miscegenated, they mix up, as well as there are the feline race in Lyra. They are the lion people, lion race, not all full humans, you see. So there's some mistake here because I'm not sure. I'm a bit skeptic. Originally they were humans, but right now, they are all mixed. Because Draconis invaded many solar system and galaxies, and they want to boss where they come, they boss all over, and they want to take over everything, and then they infiltrate the DNA because for better control, dominate, they will have to become one of the people, so they intermate, means that they mix DNA. Eons ago, their civilization reached a very high technological level. Unfortunately, the situation escalated as conflicts between different factions, which is the Draco, turned into an all-out war. Those who fled would colonize the Hyades, the Pleiades, and the Vega system. Why they don't speak about? Because of the Dracos and the reptilian who invaded. Their offspring eventually reached the Earth around 22 million years ago and have since maintained a more or less numerous force stationed here. 22 million years ago. That's a lot of years. Some researchers believe they are the gods described in virtually all ancient religious texts. If this theory is true, the Lions held the premier role in creating and shaping Earth mankind. Oh, I see. Most accounts describe them as Nordic in appearance. Not anymore, now they are mixed a bit with felines and others. Tall individual with blue eyes and long blonde hair. They have been called the galactic historians of the human species, and if anyone knows the story of how man came to exist, it is them. They were of the force in the galaxies to be created by the prime force, the prime energy, the first humans to be created. But then reptilian come next who are mixed with the confederation of aliens. They kind of mixed everybody up. They manipulated DNA. They manipulated the beings, mixing with them and mixing with others. The Alpha Centaurians, the extraterrestrial from Alpha Centauri, have the power to destroy us or almost any other alien species. They are widely considered the most technologically advanced species in the Milky Way galaxy. They are highly intelligent and possess a natural curiosity, which led to them rapidly developing a scientific and technological society. They evolved as aquatic species possessing gills and webbed limbs, and researchers believe they are responsible for a large number of underwater sightings and UFO phenomenon. So they are the beings that are often spotted by marine biologists, and also their galaxy or their planets, one of the closest to Earth. It's rumored they have a number of operation bases located on the bottom of many of our seas, oceans, and lakes. They also look like hybrid reptilian. Extraterrestrial researchers agree the Alpha Centaurians possess the most advanced technology, giving them an advantage even over other, more combative species. It would seem that the Centaurians have learned that with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, and how to use it and not to abuse power. Even more than that, they are benevolent toward us and have expressed their genuine interest in assisting us overcome some of our challenges. Having succeeded themselves, they realize evolution can sometimes seem overwhelmingly hard. They often communicate telepathically with our scientists, and the influence is always subtle. They promote social justice and human rights, coupled with the responsible use of technology. Well, I disagree because there is an account, a true story account of a man who went to Alpha Centauri, who a woman. She was actually in previous lives, she was one of them, and she went to their planet. She describes their planet as just like ours, with infrastructure, with mega metropolis, so on and so forth. Over there, they do not use money, currency as we use now, because our one is fiat, something like fake, see, our systems of currency. And over there, they do not use money. They use a kind of economic system like meritocracy. Let's say you work, you study, you work, and in exchange you don't get money, but you get a roof on your head, and you can travel. That's it. And food, just like you get food stamp, a provisory house, temporary maybe, and some travel. That's it. Then this means you work for nothing. And whoever doesn't make part of this system is shamed publicly. They put one, how they put something on the person's neck, one plaque which says, I do not work. And that per se is very, very shameful. And that person will stay there as punishment whenever they do not work. So I don't find this. I think they are reptilian. From what I see, they are reptilian. Okay, mixed with amphibians and marine species. And they are not very benevolent as they claim. Luckily, I know something about some of them. The Pleiadians. The Pleiadians also can be nowadays those who come here are mostly reptilian, but they can fool people, they can fool. You see human, but sometimes they're not humans. Descendants of the Nordic Lions, the Pleiadians represent humanity's most active ally. Their home is located in the Pleiades star cluster, a group of stars located 400 light years from Earth. The Pleiades have always played important roles in human culture, and their name is derived from the ancient Greek verb plein, meaning to sail. Thus, the Pleiadians are sailors. One of their chosen representatives on Earth was Billy Meier, who imparted the messages of Sammy Jays, a Pleiadian female who was concerned for our fate. Despite that, she told him that we are neither guardians of earthly beings nor God-sent angels or similar. Many persons suggest we are watching over Earth and have beings and would control their fates. This is not true because we all perform a self-selected mission which has nothing to do with supervising or regulating Earth fates. Thus, it's wrong to expose us as super-terrestrial messengers and guardians. The Pleiadians were the first to warn us about the danger the grey aliens posed. They accused the Greys of a lack of wisdom and empathy when using technologically inferior humans to serve their evil, remorseless purposes. For this reason, the two alien species have fought one another, both here and in other star systems. Contactees claim the Pleiadians have been helping us free ourselves from oppression for quite some time, even though we might not know it. They have always done so. Sure, but all choose to appear right now after so many years of shady secrets and deceits. So how to believe them now? Now let's see the evil one. This one I know already. They are the Greys. No, I mean the Alpha. These ones. Reptilian, the Dragos, the Zeta. The Syrians, hailing from Sirius B star system, the Syrians are as advanced as they are ancient. Throughout history, they have imparted their knowledge to human civilizations of their choosing. They gifted the ancient Egyptians with medical and astronomical information, and the great pyramids and temples are said to have been built with their help. They also aid a lot of the Asiatic tribal Americans people, so-called the Native Americans. The Mayans also had a special relationship with the Syrians. See how right I was. who shared information of this enigmatic South American civilization. South America? Mayan, South American, Mayan, Central American, Mexico, near USA, North America. Was never South America. South America is other tribe like the prominent Incas and Incas. The extraterrestrial origination from Sirius B are believed to have played a part in the disappearance of the Maya, but not before ensuring they left behind amazing artifacts such as the crystal skulls. Another earthly civilization that benefited from the Syrian presence were the Atlanteans. It's believed that during the cataclysmic event that sunk Atlantis, the Syrians were instrumental in leading the rescue operations. Also, they are behind the reincarnation grid because they ascended the masters all from there. There is Sirius A, B, C. Other civilizations have been influenced by the Sirius, the most notable case being that of the Dogon tribe of West Africa. Although they were more involved during a planet past, nowadays the Syrians play a more subtle part. Technology exchange programs, something knock the roof. They are often mentioned in connection with combat or exotic weapon research, as well as time travel experimentation. The holographic Syria agenda. Be careful with the Syrians, they are not very trustworthy. The Native Americans, the Afros, all of those people, perhaps in kills, the reptilian are all involved with them. The sorry grace, also known as the Zeta Reticulis, the grace, or Psi-Ray, are some of the most well-known aliens and commonly depicted through alien pop culture. As hostile, they are the authors of most alien abduction. They are not quite like this. There's the very whitey one, shorty, fatty one. According to most description, they stand 3 to 5 feet tall, have a bulbous head and oversized black eyes. Although they possess a mouth, they seldom speak. And the most communication is carried out telepathically. That's true, because I met with one and he was... No, I met with another species, very small one, 183, who kidnapped me and abducted me. 3 of them, but they were other kind of grays. They operate a lot in North and Northeast Brazil, and they undergo a lot of experiment with people, and some people have been said to have died as a result. I was lucky that I did not die. Many people died, especially men. Children were left scarred. And I survived. And I became pregnant of one, but I had miscarriage. But I don't want to talk about this nonsense. There was nothing, no sex was involved. They just can do it. Just apply semen inside the person's uterus, and then the female gets pregnant. You see, you don't need to do all this nonsense thing, all the sexual act. They just can do it. The spacecraft apply semen into the girl's womb. I was about 17 years old at the time, but I miscarriage. And well, that one was at 83. That one was the tiny one, skinny one. Their head is long. Their heads like this, but is slim a bit, and they wear spacecraft suits. But I don't know their skin color tone. But those space suit is pale white. However, the one I saw in 2013, those were the fat one, the Zeta, and he came with a vampire. And this time around, the spacecraft was very, very sophisticated, very white, very large. In 83, it was kind of like, I don't know, like a moldy piece of a sardine can, grayish color, and very old style one. And I could recall the panels. I see if I can remember the sofa. The sofa was made of leather. I cannot recall the color, but I can remember the panels, the lights, but I don't remember what they really did to me. However, it was 3 days consecutively, and my mother was also involved. But they didn't want my mother. They shoot a laser at my mother, and she couldn't move. And my mother was involved. And in 2013, this time around, they came. Don't know why the heck they came. They kidnapped me again, put me inside the mother ship, very big one, and they wanted me. They placed me in one seat. Also, there's a panel. You could see the panel. I'm sitting there. This one I can recall vividly because it was about 6 years ago. And I was sitting there, and there's a vampire, the same woman with long hair that pride the earth. Same woman, like a Chinese woman of black hair and white gown. She was with the gray, and they kind of asked me what I knew. And at that time, I was dumb. I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what's going on, and they keep on asking me, what do you know? But the voice was telepathically. They didn't move their lips or whatever. They keep on putting in my brain, what do you know? And I kind of, I don't know what. I don't know what you're talking about. And they tell us, what do you know? And I don't know what you are talking about. I don't know what's going on. And this time, the vampire come and then start to shake my shoulder. See? And then the shorty gray come towards me and told me, if you do not tell us what you know, I'm gonna open the bottom of this craft and I'm gonna throw you down, and you're gonna drop underneath the earth. You go to the depths of hell. And once that time when I get so, so mad, so crazy, I stood up, and I say, why would you do this to me? What I did to you all? I don't remember. Then I say a bad word to them. So I say, I don't remember, and you don't have power over me. You are not my gods. You are not my God. And then I start to shout, I am, I am, I am, I am. Very loud. And then my chest open up. And then one light come out. One sunlight come out from my chest. And the sunlight burned them. And they start to shout. And then they went in circle and in the middle of the spacecraft. They went into circle, spin, 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 and vanish. And I returned back. I returned to my body because I was in the light body. I was not in my body. See, it was my light body. According to most description, they stand 3 to 5 feet tall. So the short gaze is said to be generically engineered worker race that are controlled by their superiors. The tall grays, their telepathic abilities allow them to constitute a type of a hive mind consciousness, being genetically designed to carry out scientific missions. The short grays are emotionless and cruel. They are also responsible for creating a human-gray hybrid race. Yeah, I know who are those race, but I better keep my mouth shut. I know who they are, and I would say that they try not to argue, you see. They do not like to argue, but they are very pushy, and they can be very, how to say, they can be very dictator. They are not that kind that gonna shout at you, but they do things that you have to succumb if you're not smart enough, like I was back in 83 when I was 17-year-old. You know, that time I was not prepared. But this time around in 2013, they caught me when I was prepared to meet them face to face this time around. And I screwed them up because I have the power. Many of us have. And I don't know whether I was sent as a mission from other aliens who was using me to fight in battle with beings. I was used, and in the back was the other aliens was protecting me all the time, and they kind of give me this power to fight them off. I'm not sure. However, they can be very pushy, you know, and they are very resilient, but they do not like to shout, or they're not rude, but they are a bit very, like, you know, when they say one thing, have to be that. They say they never give up easily. Okay, being genetically designed, so the tall grays. This one is very hostile. Standing 7 to 8 feet tall, the Grey Masters are the ambassadors of most meeting between human and alien forces. Ooh. There's another name for this one. He's very evil. They always present at the end diplomatic agreements with the global shadow government. Sources claim they originate from a star system in the Orion constellation. That's where the grays come from, Orion. So Sirius and Orion is a very shady kind of place. The tall grays supervise all abductions and human experiments, but are seldom present during this event. They prefer to employ the service of their minions, the sorry grays. as it would seem. What? Cute? What are you look at me? Huh? Why? There's something in the room, is it? My cat sees something. She always sees something around. As it would seem, they are keen on developing a stable human-grey hybrid race, one worth of in rising at. Yeah, there's something around here. The cat is looking. Who are they? Don't be scared. Oh, okay. Poor Epsilon come back. As it would seem, they are keen on developing a stable human-grey hybrid race, one worth of rising at. In a visibly self-centered race, they place little value on human life. They consider as their property. The Alpha Draconians, corrupt and vicious. The Alpha Draconian luck, my God, I never see this one. Neither want to see. Not gonna. Oh, please stay away from me. The Alpha Draconians have infiltrated human society thousands of years ago, although they came to Earth from the colonies of Alpha Draconis. Their original home world is unknown. Maybe they come from that pit, the black hole. A decidedly giant reptilian species. They measure anywhere from 14 to 22 feet tall. I believe that those are all shadow beings, but they can use DNA to portray themselves as it is. They can um, plasm themselves, plasmate, use plasmate themselves and incarnate, but they are shadow being, weigh estimated 1,800 pounds. Their muscular bodies are covered in green or brown scaly skin. They are intelligent race with large heads and reptilian eyes. Some accounts describe them as having tails or even wings. Contaxia Lex Colia says he was allowed to share some details about these extraterrestrials. The Draconians are the force behind the repression of human populations everywhere in this galaxy, stealing fear-based belief systems and restrictive hierarchies. They are extremely clairvoyant and extremely clever, and they can also be extremely sinister. The Draconians view themselves as the first intelligent species to evolve in the Milky Way galaxy. Competitive and expansive, they have populated many worlds. They believe to be the first, first than humans. So that's why they want to bully, they want to boss and bully, because they believe to be the first to exist. When the source exploded, the quantum energy, their immense egos allows them to see themselves as the rightful rulers of lesser evolved worlds such as Earth. They say that everywhere belongs to them. The whole multiverse is theirs. If they ever is to say, they will say that everywhere is there, that they were the first, they are the indigenous beings everywhere. The continuous exploitation of the human race proves they consider us an inferior species. Reports say there are actually two types of Alpha Draconians, divided into two castes. The giant ones are part of a royal caste called the Siakar, while the smaller one, 8 feet tall, form a well-trained warrior class of the reptilians. And the alpha draconians are the white albinos, one Kobazar. 5. The native reptilians. Often confused with the warrior caste of the alpha draconians, these reptilians are said to be native to Earth. No, they are not. The little information available for this species states that they were originally left behind by the alpha draconians to colonize Earth. Really? How many years ago? Their interaction with mankind goes back thousands of years, sometimes offering assistance, but more often than not using eyes as a commodity. They have infiltrated almost all aspects of human life and hold positions of power. Reptilians manipulate our elites and rule our institutions and organizations. They build a financial system and influence all religions and all the infrastructure, all the buildings, even the mountains are their board. The underground reptilian race is also said to control the media and all corporations. They are behind most crimes against humanity, including the disappearance of children, kidnapping, or sorcery for pills. I believe that those are shadow beings that just take DNA from us to become this and that. They do not come straight away from other galaxies like this. They came to Earth who were seeding, seeding matter. And they take the seeds of Earth, which was the reptile, that we have snakes, serpent, all that. Then they become these, the dinosaurs. Actually, they are shadow beings. They are not what they are present to be. It's all lies, all illusion. Anunnakis are all of them. Anunnaki actually is comprised of Dracos, of Reptile, of Greys, and others. Is a confederation. There's a mistake here. There's a confederation. An elite race of beings that originated in another galaxy called Liens. The home world was a planet called Risky. When Risky was destroyed, they built an intergalactic vessel. They named it Nibiru. No, they are Draco. No. Drake, they are Greys, they are everything. Before heading to Earth, the Anunnaki colonized the planet and the Orion star system. They arrived on Earth almost 1,000,000 years ago. No, 400 years ago, in search of gold and other valuable minerals that were scarce in the universe, but abundant here. 400 years ago they come, not millions lie, and they are the in it of our force. They are said to have created mankind through genetic manipulation and in vitro fertilization. They upgrade the genus Homo to sapiens quality. They just manipulate the people around here. They decrease the DNA. There were giant, all that. They decrease the height and our abilities, all that. Present on us since our inception, the Anunnaki have influenced every aspect of human life. We've inherited the patriarchal culture of violence and vengeance. They are dregs. Is our engineered DNA. Alexander, the Anunnaki are also known as aliens. What a lie! What a lie! They are Draco, they are animals in grace, in others. The Anunnaki are also known as the aliens, tall, blonde, blue eyes, blonde hair, and they are controlled by the Draconians. Our species share DNA with multiple alien species, but alien DNA is predominant in humans. Anunnakis are not blondes or humans. They are Dracos. You idiots.